Okay, so here we go. Uh, I'm on a kitchen counter. This is marble, maybe faux marble. Doesn't matter. Uh, Seems to be pretty supported. I'm in a wooden house. So when you're in a wooden house, you have to make sure you bang on parts of the floor that are near the wall because they are the more supported. Anyway, I've been in a couple wooden houses where if I bang on the floor or anywhere in the house with one of these, it's 25 pounds. If I bang on it, it would shake the fucking entire house. And people on the third floor, I was on the bottom floor, people on the third floor said that it was wiggling all the water in their glasses. Like they could tell when I bang on the floor, it goes wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Every time I bump, it wiggles the water in the house. So it goes through the whole frame of the house. But this house, I'm on the bottom floor, and it's a very strong house. It's an older house. It's like at least 100 years old, but it's a pretty sturdy wooden house in Tenderloin, San Francisco. Anyway, here we go. Here we go. Okay, so we have a square. I got this from Aardvark Clay in Santa Ana. I don't know if you can see that. Those have been my people for like 20 years. Maybe more than that. Probably more than that. A little more than that, about 30 years maybe. Anyway, here we go. This is a 25-pound rectangle. It's about 6 inches wide and 12 inches long. So, we have a marble counter here. And the thing is, I'm going to use the edge. Because I've broken a big piece of marble with these before, but we're going to do this, just stay on the edge where it's supported. If you're going to hit it on a, kitchen counter or something. Anyway, this is a little much for a kitchen counter, but this is a sturdy house, a sturdy counter, and I'm just trying to show you. Usually you should do it on a sidewalk, like a big piece of concrete. Anyway, here we go. I'm going to quit bullshitting, and here we go. You see, I hit the square corners and rounded them off, and then I go to the other side. I'm doing this slow because I'm trying to show you. Okay, so you see I did it to the other side, almost the same. Okay, and we go these four. Okay, and that's not exactly even, but it's general. And then so we need to right, it's generally, all the corners have been knocked off. Just generally, not really. Still got a lot of square parts. So the main thing that you want to do when you're wedging clay like this is you do not ever want it to fold over itself. That's not good. If the piece folds over itself, you have to throw that piece away. Like, don't try to just stick it on there. It's not going to stay. It's going to cause problems later. So do not let the clay fold over itself. There's a little bit right there. Never let that happen. Okay. See? I basically rounded it. Not really, but kinda. like a double mushroom with a square in the middle. Not a square, but an octagon. So then we go here again. Okay, so you see that? There's still some dips. I don't know if you can see those dips in there. Okay, one of the things we're going to do is we're going to make sure that this middle part of the square, it was a square. Now it's an octagon, but it's a square, right? It still thinks it's a square. Okay, so there's 4 dips in it, right there. And so the thing is, you see, we're going to make the middle part bigger. So we do that by banging on the corner. Okay, you see we hit the squares of the corner. Now we're going to hit the edge of where that edge was. Right? So we're going to hit here on this line, and then we're going to hit here on this line. That's going to make the middle swell up. We just want it to be bigger than this square that it started off as. So here we go. You see, it's kind of almost round, and it got wider. So I'm going to do that to this side. Okay, now you see there's this square in the middle. Now we got to go back on that, and don't let it fold over itself. If any part of it looks like it's going to fold over, don't let it happen. Okay, so we did it. It's a little wider, but there's still those dips, right? We need to make it wider by smashing the ends together. But we're not going to smash them this way. We're going to smash right on the line where they were smashed before. We do that again, the middle will become bigger again. Middle will become bigger. We're going to bounce along these lines. It's not even, it could be a little more even, but you see? It's also, and you see there, I don't know, do you see that? A couple of the part, they're trying to fold over. Do not let it fold over, no matter what. Do not let it fold over. Right, whenever there's a sharp part, you put it down. Put the sharp part down. Anytime there looks like a crease, do not let it happen. Smooth it out into bumps elsewhere. Any smooth bump is okay, but the sharp creases are no good. Okay, so now we're going to go for the other side. Okay, and you see, some of these guys are trying to fold over. We're not going to let that happen. Do not let it fold over itself. That's the main deal with wedging. With this kind of wedging, this is called bounce wedging. Okay. And so there you go. There's no parts of it that are trying to fold over itself. So there we go. So there we go. So then we just make it round. Smooth everything out. If there's trying to be dips, we don't want them. Then we go like that. A little dip. We don't let that happen. Oh. We don't let that happen. And we just make sure, okay, first. Okay, and then once we have a really round shape with no cracks or dents or anything like that, then we make it even wider. We just keep going. We want this thing to be wide. Okay. You see, that got wider. That's wider than the square that we started with. We're going to do that on the other side. Okay, and there we go. It's not folding over a little, trying to have some minute wrinkles, but nothing serious. Right there, it's trying to go. We don't let that happen. And so, I don't know if you can see this, the diameter, the roundness of this is bigger than the square that it started with. Okay? So once that is very clear, once that it's very clear that you have a circle that's bigger than the square you started with, if we were going to do a 25 pounder, then I would just flatten one side of it and make it wider. But we're going to do half a bag, which is 12.5 pounds out of a 25 pound bag. So we take the wire, and we get that. There we go. Cut it with wire, and then so we take half of it and put it back in the bag because it can change really quickly. We don't want it to be exposed to air for any unnecessary amount of time. So there we go. We put one of the halves in the bag. And, you want the plastic touching it all if you can, because even the bubbles in the bag make dry spots. So right now that's not even finished being wedged, but it's just so it doesn't change that much while we're doing other stuff. So, okay. All right, so here we go. And the thing is, when you cut it in half, you cut the watermelon in half, you want to use the big side for the bottom, because there's still a ghost of a square in here, and it's much more pronounced at the top, and it's easier to cut that off once you start the pot. If you can't change it, you cut some of it off, but basically you want the middle of the cut to be the bottom. Okay, all right, and then so now we'll just make it rounder, and we're going to try to make it we're just going to try to even it up first, and then we're going to make it wider than this. But right now we're just going to make it more round, like put petals on it like a flower, smaller and smaller and evenly as possible. You know, like that. And then this bottom part, this has never touched air yet at all, so it's pretty sticky. But we're going to turn it over, and we're going to go. Okay, getting pretty round, and so the thing is, we're going to actually make this wider. So I'm going to go one time straight down, and then petals. Oh, you see, I don't know if you can see that. That's for a ROM. You see, it's not connected. There's a bubble in there, so it's separated inside the clay body. That's not good. But anyway. Yeah, there's lots. I don't know if you can see. There's lots of bubbles where they're separated. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 9 clear bubbles. And there's going to be some bubbles where you can't see. But this is just very obviously there on the top. So And so the thing is, you want it to be even. When it gets this wide, it's hard to keep it even on the horizontal plane. You know what I mean? You see it's a little bit humped over to the sides. A little bit. You want it to be flat, but there's actually not possible to make it all the way flat. So you get it as flat as you can. This is the inside where it was cut. So this is going to be wheel down right there. So I'm leaving it upside down. I'm going to go clean off the wheel. And I'm going to clean off the wheel and stick it on there. Okay, I'm gonna go over here. I'll show you. We're going from the kitchen to the living room. And sorry. And oh, sheesh. Okay, it's not gonna fall, is it? Let's go this way. And it's gonna go there. Good enough for now. Good enough for now. Let's do that. Okay. Okay, so. Alright, we have this here. And this is the bottom. This is the sticky part that was fresh cut from the other half. So here we go. We turn it over. We get it on there. Kind of center. We try to center it. Start from the middle. And go out to the edge. Make sure there's no air in between. So that's pretty far on there. And we have to stick it down on the edge. Take some slip. We're going to get it up under the corner. We're going to get on top so we can press on it without it sticking. So we're going to go there. We got some mud on the top. We go right to the corner. And we make sure that bad boy is stuck on there pretty good. There you go. That's it. So this is a 12.5 pound. This is a half a bag on the wheel. That's what we're doing here. It's a half a bag on the wheel. 12.5 pounds, approximately. It's never exact. Those bags are not exactly 25 pounds, and when you cut it in half by eyeball, it's not exactly 12.5, but we're just eyeballing, you know, half a bag, quarter bag, whatever. So that's how we do it. We estimate. That's it. So, okay, got a bunch of, so we want the top to be smooth. There's bumps on there from when I was sticking it down. So we just make sure those are gone. There's no more wiggles in there. So we get the bumps out of there. Okay. And if there is unevenness, it should be concentric. Right? There's no way to make it exactly flat, but all inconsistencies should be concentric. So you can make rings on it instead of bumps. Rings are good instead of, you know, if you should like flatten out the rings. There should be no rings, but microscopically there's always going to be rings. It's always going to be a little bit uneven. Okay, so then we take the slip off. This is the slip that we put on. We put it back in there. Some of it's soaked in. You don't really want that, but it does. It soaks in. So now we're going to press on there kind of firmly and try to get all the slip off there, like all the wet clay that I put on there to make it slip. There it is. And, okay. Yeah. Okay. And, there it is. I can feel the ghost of the square. It bumps every 4, you know what I mean? 4 times around the circle, it goes boom, 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 boom. It's still in there. The square is in there. We're going to have to deal with it later. But right now, there's not really that much. Okay, so brush in the bucket method. That's the best way for me. I go brush, bucket, and then towel. Right? Right, no clay on the hands, not much. Maybe microscopically, but not really. There's no clay. Okay. Alrighty. So then, what we're going to do is, we're going to make sure that there's a hill like that, that it goes down. It goes down into the middle. We're gonna, right now the top is flat. We're gonna make it so that the edges are a little higher and it goes in like that, because we're gonna set it up to open it with the stick. But to prepare it for the stick, we need it to be like that. So. Okay. Speed it up, gives it more power. More power. Okay. So then we go. We'll put a little more slip on it. Right there in the middle. Put a little slip in it and put the fist in there. We just want it to be Vex Cave. We want it to be like that. That's pretty good. It's pretty close. That's enough to use the stick. Okay, so it's going that way, like I said. Okay, so let's wipe all the slip in. We want no slippery parts. We want everything to be nice and even. Okay? Okay. Actually, I may have put it down too far. But anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and try it. It's different every time, I guess. So, here we go. Should be oval, the stick should be ovular, but this is round anyway, that's fine. So we go in like this. See, the stick is touching from the bottom to the top. And the square popped up, and I knocked a bunch off. The thing is, if you go slower, you roll the stick, and the clay rolls back onto the piece, but I didn't do that, and it was at a little bit of a strange angle for me, but anyway, so that's what we got. The edge right here where it folded over, we got to go back and find out where it was folded over and get rid of that, because we can't have any folding over anywhere, especially on the lip. Okay, so all this is continuous right there. Okay, here's some pieces. Okay, so yeah, there's the square. I can see the square so clearly. I don't know if you can see that. I feel it clearly. Anyway, so we're going to throw about a 1/4 inch over the bottom. Yeah. So, matter of fact, too, put a little bit on the edge. Like whenever you're in doubt about the edge, you can go ahead and put a dry sponge on it. Not dry, but not wet. You know what I'm saying? Like wring it out as much as you can. There's still a little bit of moisture in there. That's all you need. Enough to make a skin. Just enough to make a little skin on it. Okay. Okay, so then, let's try the hands here. And okay, so here we go. So now we're going to cut in a little bit and put that about a 1/4 inch. We're going to put about a 1/4 inch across the bottom. But usually we take the loose pieces and we make sure they stick to the bottom. Okay? And there's a bubble in the middle, so we're going to go ahead and pop that and just make sure that there's no bubble in there. We go for this, we fill that back up, and then we're going to put at least a little more. We are going to put some more across the bottom because it ain't really thick enough. Okay, we just go like that. All these pieces in there, make sure they stick. Just make sure they stick. We could even go a little more. Like this, and there's a big wop on the side. I don't know if you can see. It's not even. But what we're going to do is we're going to mess with this bottom for a while because we want it to be thick enough. It would be a shame to make a big pot and then have the bottom be too thin. So let's see how deep it is. I can't look that way. There we go. Yeah, that's 1/4 inch. That's good enough. It's deep enough. enough because about 1/8 of an inch is going to get cut off with the wheel when you cut it off. About 1/8 of an inch of it is going to still be on the wheel when you cut it off. So let's go ahead and do that. This is we're just going to call that 1/4 inch. And I'm not sure if it's level. I'm just eyeballing it. There we go. So we got this, and then so now we're going to put some slip. Put some slip on the outside and make a little bit up to the top, and then we're going to crush this in and try to go like that. We're going to try to go like that. So let me pick up some slip, put it on there. Of the wheel. This thing is as wide as the whole wheel. That's why we need bigger wheels. We're gonna be doing big plots. We need bigger wheel heads. This is for like school or something. Anyway, something like this. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it in. We're just leaning on it really hard there. Slows down because of too much pressure, don't just let it go. You'll mess up the pot. You gotta let it go slowly so it stays round. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and put that bottom in. Damn it! That square is trying to be in there. That square is really wanting to be in there. Oh my God, and there's a cut. Oh my God, there's a big hole in the bottom. There's an actual really hole in there, like a big one. Oh my God, there really is. There's a big hole in the bottom. And I showed you when I cut it in half, that hole popped up. I saw it. I saw it. There's a big empty spot at the bottom. Oh my God. Yeah, it's a very big spot. Okay. No! Woo! There you go. That's what happens when there's a hole in the bottom. The air came out. There was a big air pocket. Anyway, so that's the first one. That is the first one that's the first one that failed from this. It's actually the second one. This is the first one that I got so far. And it failed. In the old days, I would have just stuck this to the wheel and keep going, but yeah, it's, dang, that's terrible. Anyway, so that's what a failure looks like. I spent a lot of time on it. I spent like 20 minutes on it or something, I don't know. Anyway, that's what it looks like when it don't work out. I gotta be more careful about, sticking it to the bottom. I gotta move, and the thing is, because there's holes in the freaking top. There's holes in the thing. It's not wedged well. That was a bubble that was already in it. I know for sure that's what the fuck it was. It was a big bubble that was already in it. I didn't wedge the clay. There's no way there should be a bubble in there, but it was from when we cut it in half. I saw there was a whole bunch of bubbles. Anyway, one of them crashed it. So that's fucked up. That's it. That's how it goes. All right.